Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Around the Emirates with Sarah. I have a special guest, Claudia, who is a body and confidence life coach. I got that right.
Yeah, you did.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's a pleasure. So tell me your story. How did you get into this industry?
Oh, okay. So my story kind of starts in 2019. I was living in Dubai, had a great job, earned good money. I was married, and I decided to leave my job, move back home, start a family. And as life, as beautiful as it is, that just didn't happen. End of 2019, we ended up separating. And I knew that I was processing it in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to find a sense of peace. But it was a couple months after that I kind of hit this pretty low place in my life. I found myself blaming myself. I didn't feel good enough, didn't feel loved, accepted. And I think we get to this point, when we start to blame ourselves, we feel like there's something wrong with us, like we're broken because
Mm-hmm.
everyone else on Instagram seemed to be really happy. So we haven't got
Right.
the memo of life, right? And so I got to this point in my life that I'd envisaged should have been very different. You're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to go to school, get the job, get the husband, you know what I mean? Have the house, the family, you grab him. Um, and it was just totally different. And I got to this point where I thought, well, what's the point? And that scared
Mm.
the hell out of me when I had that. I remember it really clearly. I kind of blacked out and thought, okay, hold on a minute. This isn't what life's meant to be. Me coming to this place where I'm questioning, well, what's even the point? If we don't have
Right.
all that society taught us that we're supposed to have, then there's something wrong with us, something wrong with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I knew that that wasn't life. And so I just did what I knew best. I got a job back in Dubai, and then COVID hit. So I really realized I kept having these, not signs, but these messages that nothing is guaranteed in life
Mm-hmm.
except I'm going to be with me for the rest of my life.
Right.
And when I kind of had that little chat with myself, if you like, I kind of said to myself, okay, Cloud, if it's just going to be you and you, what are you going to do? And I thought, I'm going to make it the best experience. So I decided, said to myself, what do you want to do with your life? I knew I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
help people, and I knew I was fascinated with the body and the mind. So I got to work. I started studying nutrition, the body. I went through my life coaching certification. And I started taking myself through a process that I didn't even realize that transformed my life. And I came back to Dubai later that year, and everyone was like, what have you done? And I was
What's
confused.
your
I was like,
secret?
right. And it was. They looked at me as if I was about to tell them the secret to the world. And I was like, I changed my mindset. And honestly, you should have seen their faces. It was like, you what? They're like, changed your mindset? Yeah. And all I could tell you is I felt more alive, more connected, more loved
Mm.
than I ever felt before. But they just saw the outside. And for me, that didn't matter as much anymore for what I was feeling on the inside. And so I developed this, what I like to call it the brain body brilliance process that I now take my clients through.
Mm-hmm.
And to see them having the same results of feeling more connected, more love, more at peace with themselves and their body, and that translating to their relationships in the outside world is
Yeah.
incredible. And that's how I know that what I went through, I was supposed to go through, so that I can now give that to other people and help them create a life where it feels fulfilled, and for them to know they're not broken, that there's nothing wrong
Mm.
with them if they're having like other experiences rather other than like the happy ones that we expect and we feel like we're supposed to have. So that's a little bit of my story.
That's incredible. I actually think you touched on two really important points there. The first thing is the fact that we teach people that there's a certain process you have to go through, certain milestones in your life you have to go through in order to be, successful, right? So like, what do you want to
Mm-hmm.
be when you grow up? What's your job going to be? What does your career look like? But you shouldn't be defined as your job, but defined as
Mm-hmm.
the type of person you want to be. So I definitely think like that, like what you just said to me resonates with that point of like just because you're married and you've got this and you've got that does not necessarily mean that you're fulfilled on like internally. And the fact that you are able to change your mindset, that literally is like a domino effect, like you said, on the relationships in your lives. So it's so important for us to actually not only like look like we're happy, like I can put on makeup and say I'm happy, but to feel that happiness and that confidence on the inside.
100%. And that's primarily the women that I work with. They've got to this point in their life where they're successful, they've got the job, they've got the money, and they kind of come up, it's like they come up for a breather, and they're like,
Right.
wait, hold on a minute. Like, time's ticking. I don't have the husband, I don't have the family, but that's what I was supposed to have. So then
Yeah.
they see all their friends that are happy with the family, and they think, oh, something's wrong with me. It must be the way I look. And so they turn to food for comfort. And it just does create that domino effect in the negative way. But as soon as you do create that awareness and reconnect with yourself, and honestly, it is simple, it's just not easy. It requires you to go to work, it requires you to bring up uncomfortable things and to reconnect with yourself.
Face your fears, essentially.
100%, yeah. But it's an incredible journey to go on too. And all I want to offer is that's the opportunity. Like when you have that niggling feeling, like, hold on a minute, I'm meant for more, or life is meant for more. That is an incredible niggling feeling that you want to look at and kind of be like, okay, what's going on?
So what would you say during this process for you to kind of like find that, I'll say, solution to how to feel more fulfilled in your life? What was your biggest challenge and how did you overcome it?
Oh, I love this question. For me, it was not knowing who I was. That was the biggest obstacle, because I had been living for someone else, and then all of a sudden I was living for me. Now, I chose to do that, but I also think a lot of people can relate, because I was the type of person that someone would say, oh, what would you like for dinner? What would you like here? And I'd be like, oh, I don't mind, whatever you like.
Yeah,
the other person was happy.
Yeah, people pleaser.
Right, exactly. And what happens when we people please? We don't know how to, we forget how to know. We don't learn that skill. So to overcome that, I did a simple approach. Again, always simple. And so I asked myself, who am I? And honestly, I know you're like, that is just a bit too simple, but we don't take the time to actually ask ourselves that. And all I came back with was three things. I liked coffee, I liked sunsets and sunrises. That was it. Yeah. But it was such a great like journey, whatever you want to call it, to go on to ask yourself that question. Do you really know who you are? What you like outside of what your friends like, outside of your family expectations? And do you know that it's okay to like those things too?
That's a big one. Family expectations, obviously, like I'm Egyptian, so being surrounded by Arabs who like to be very involved in your life. And, obviously like family is, we love family, but it is very much a culture where you are told what you should be and should not be doing. So I think, honestly, obviously this is like a small example of what you're talking about, but in terms of like being able to say no, I found as I turned like 27, I found that just being able to say no if I don't want to go out on a Friday night, I'd rather sleep early. It's just because I can catch up on my sleep because I'm tired. I found that as like one of the most powerful things that I was able to learn to do without feeling guilty that A, I'm missing out on the fun, and B, that the person is mad at me or feels like I'm not cool if I'm saying no.
Yeah, I love that. What that is reconnecting with yourself. There's no guilt there because you've checked in with yourself. You've created that awareness. Okay, no, this is what I want for myself. These are the reasons. And it feels brilliant. And it's the same concept, for example, with food. When we beat ourselves up for overindulging, we have guilt. But if we decide beforehand, oh, I'm going to go and eat this meal, it removes that guilt straight away. It's a fascinating kind of concept to adopt in any area of your life.
Interesting. So for example, if I want to treat myself with ice cream, if I go into it thinking I've earned this, it's a treat for myself, I've worked hard, I'm going to enjoy the ice cream, then you might feel less guilt after eating it. Is that what you're trying to say?
So I would definitely watch the kind of language there in terms of like deserve it, a treat and things like that with my clients, because that's then associating food with kind of emotions, which is what with my clients we're trying to navigate around. But what I would suggest, if you're someone that does like to have an ice cream but feel guilty after, I would say, okay, plan ahead of time. So if you decide, okay, tomorrow I'm going to have ice cream just because, and it can be associated with something, But if you decide ahead of time, I'm going to go have the ice cream tomorrow, and it's planned, when you have it, you're honoring your plan. That's empowering in any circumstance.
I
But it's
see.
when
So
you
you're
do it
taking control. I see.
totally, self-control is authority as well. When you have it unplanned, you then think, oh, well, should I have had
Like
that?
I
Shouldn't
shouldn't
I
have
have had
done
that?
it. Yeah, I see what you're
Right,
saying.
because that's so easy to beat ourselves up. And it makes sense when we look at how the brain works and how it wants to kind of keep us safe and like not do anything and kind of experience all of that. So
I see. Okay. So obviously like the specific type of life coaching you do is for body and confidence. So we've talked about the body part, about how to kind of control your relationship with food if you feel like you overindulge. So when it comes to the confidence, that's the part where you say, I am like, that's where you kind of do like the self-awareness, right? And you reconnect with yourself and you remember like what actually pleases you and what things you like and dislike. So my next question is about anything kind of crazy you found out about yourself or something funny you found out about yourself while going through this process.
Oh, anything crazy or funny about myself?
Go wild.
I don't know if there's anything funny or crazy about myself. I mean, I've learned that you can really, I mean, I was someone that would faint during presentations at university. And so I made it part of my building confidence part and testing what the kind of the process I take my clients through to really put myself out there. And that would look like walking into a salsa class where I know no one and giving it my all and being in the back, kind of just getting all the steps wrong, but like, it's all right, yeah. And everyone's like, do you want to come to the front? And I'm like, no, I'm okay in the back right here. Getting my 2 steps, like. Honestly, it's liberating when the goal isn't to, like, you know, we put so much pressure on ourselves to find someone or for people to like us. When that's not the goal and you just go to have a good time and that's the goal, oh my gosh, you can make yourself look like a clown, whatever you want, and it feels brilliant.
No, I completely agree with you. I mean, aside from my podcast, I also teach Zumba as like another side hustle I have. So if you ever want to do some salsa, let me know.
Yeah.
But that aside, I think that the fact that you are able to kind of step outside your comfort zone and do something that you would maybe not normally do, but try to like make the most out of it. I really think that that's something that people underestimate the value of doing that. Like, even if it's something you've never done before, you're afraid of like acting a fool. And even if you're completely alone, the fact that you can go and like make fun of yourself almost and like not, you know, give a shit basically, I think like that's underestimated for me.
Yeah, I think it makes it fun and we forget to have fun, as simple as that sounds. But this life, like we get all those cliche sayings, right? We get one life, it's, you know, just live your, but seriously, like if we've learned anything with COVID, just go and enjoy yourself, create a little bit of fun. Discomfort is awesome. And once we start to redefine that for ourselves, you'll find you'll do a hell of a lot more. And it feels brilliant. Like feeling proud of yourself. I don't know about you, but that feels way better than feeling happy. And to be proud of yourself, you have to do something challenging. So I want to invite all your listeners, go do something challenging just for the sake of it and see how you feel after.
So I like the last 2 phrases you said there. You said discomfort is fun. And I'm going to quote you on that literally on my page. And the fact that you said to like challenge yourself and you'll find that, you know, the self-reward is like your inner happiness of like, I kicked ass today.
100%.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Claudia. I'm with you.
Yes.
I love it. But thank you so much for taking the time to be on my show. I think that you have really made an impact on me for sure. And I'm sure that whenever like everybody's watching this right now will feel the same impact. Thank you for reminding us of the importance of having the basics in life first and not to, you know, get too ahead of ourselves. As long as we go back to basics and the foundation is solid, I mean, there's nowhere to go but up. So
amazing. Thank you for having me. It's been awesome.
Of course. Thank you. And guys, as you know, there's a new episode out every other Saturday. Check out the link in bio for the full interviews as always, and I will see you all soon. Thank you and goodbye.